I remember putting my life on the line for my people, and they was like, God, we with you. Everybody was cheering and rooting. Guess it turns out that everybody was you. Only the real will relate, so the real see through it. The chosen, third eye open, so you can never fool.
Peace, reflection. Hit the like and subscribe button because you are over here with Tarithia, and my spaceship has officially landed. You know when my spaceship land, how I do. When I get over here with my whole crew, I got the whole crew with me. Reflection. Hit the like and subscribe button because it let everybody know on Earth that we have officially broke the dome. Reflection. We came through. We over here on Earth with you. How you doing, Reflection? How are you doing, babe? I told you I was gonna be back, didn't you? You thought I was you thought I wasn't gonna come back. I told you I was, and pop, here I am. So, with that being said, reflection, we are back for part two. If you missed part one of Queen Nefertiti reflection, the hunger for power, the one who reflection. There was no goddess like this right here. There was no one that came down here and did it like Queen Nefertiti. Queen Nefertiti wasn't even technically born into royal blood reflection, but she had a gift so great and so divine reflection. It didn't even matter. They said, "You welcome. Come on come on in the room." They told her, "You're welcome. Come in the room." Yes, we've been waiting on you. Where you been, T? Where have you been, Nefertiti, baby? Come over here and raise the dead for us. Come on, we need a good book of the dead rope. We need one of those. We need one to go in our Lightbearer and shit. We need to know how to open up the human skull and figure out how to mind control they ass. Allegedly, we need a queen like you. We need you. We need you. Yes, the first one in history to do it. Reflection, I guarantee you. So, with that being said, reflection, we just over here to go down this rabbit hole. We just here to talk about Queen Nefertiti, and we're about to get into her husband a little bit. We're about to get into her husband Akhenaten. Now we all know Akhenaten came in here and he switched. Akhenaten said, "Fuck checkers, we playing chess." Yes, we playing chess, and I'm the one putting the pieces on the board. Yes. So if you don't know about Akhenaten, after this video, you may have a better insight of his vision. He had a vision reflection. He had a vision like no other. Okay. So you know how they say, he is a very jealous God. Reflection. Akhenaten said, "Listen, I'm running shit around here. Yes, I don't give a damn about your kingdom, they kingdom, they kingdom. I'm running all the kingdoms. I'm the king of all kingdoms." Yes, that's what he said. I think if I was there reflection, I think it was probably something like that. So with that being said, get your roll up, get your poll up, because we over here talking about Akhenaten. And we are talking about Queen Nefertiti. So you know you're gonna need some roll up and you're gonna need some poll up. Okay. We are talking about the ones who were hungry for power. Okay. And not only were they hungry for power, I think they ate very well. So with that being said, remember reflection. Everything in these videos are for educational purposes only. Everything in these videos are to spark a thought, so you can go and you can definitely do your own research. But we know sometimes history don't always get this shit right. Reflection, it don't always, it just don't. So when you over here with the crew, this is what we do. We the decoders. I don't know if you knew that or not. You didn't know that reflection. Yes, we don't just roll up and pull up over here. We decode and shit. Yes, we had a roll up over there. We decode and shit. Then pull up over there just in case, because you know with this cold and shit, it can get kind of frustrating sometimes. Reflection, be like, you said what now? Now what made you code some shit like that? I'm just saying though. I'm saying it's genius, but what made you do something like that? So you get what I'm saying, reflection. That's you over here with the decodes. We have to break down the code sometimes. We have to break down this matrix, okay? We are here to leave stains on brains.
Now, the first person in this historical couple in crisis I'm going to be talking about is Pharaoh Akhenaten. Now, Pharaoh Akhenaten is a pharaoh who is infamous in ancient Egyptian history because he was the one who wanted to change what gods the Egyptian people worshipped. Now, Pharaoh Akhenaten was originally born Amenhotep IV and was the son of Pharaoh Amenhotep and his wife Tia. Now, Pharaoh Akhenaten almost didn't become pharaoh because Crown Prince Thutmose was supposed to become the next pharaoh. However, Thutmose wound up passing away, and Amenhotep IV wound up becoming the next one to take the line of succession. And as he took the line of succession after Amenhotep III wound up passing away, he took Nefertiti to become his wife, and that's when Amenhotep IV wound up on the road to becoming a man in crisis. Now, Pharaoh Amenhotep IV ruled Egypt for 5 years before deciding to change the entire direction of the country's religion. Now, what happened with Amenhotep IV was he started to see that he didn't want to worship the pantheon of Heliopolitan gods. No, what he wanted to do was take Egypt in a direction from being polytheist to becoming monotheist. And what
Now reflection. His brother was really supposed to rule. You know that, right? Now I'm just throwing this thing out here because I like leaving stains on brains. Now his brother was supposed to be next up, but somehow reflection. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know reflection, but he got on up out of there. I think he got on up out of there. Allegedly, he got. So I don't know how he got up out of there, but next thing we knew, I'm in hotel. I said I'm in hotel reflection. Akhenaten was the ruler, baby, and he had his own plan. He had his own agenda. Reflection, and it's how they say whatever frequency you in, whatever energy you in, you will attract somebody in the same type of energy you in. Well, reflection. Him and Queen Nefertiti, it was like two minds came together. It was like two great masterminds came together. But the question is, what did they have planned for the kingdom?
in a direction from being polytheist to becoming monotheist. And what he wanted to do was have people of Egypt worshiping one god known as the Aten. And this Aten was basically a god that he said was the sun, which was represented by the disk that was on the top of the crowns of gods like Isis and Ra. And what he wanted people to do was start worshiping this sun disk known as the Aten. And that really caused a lot of controversy in ancient Egypt, where people were used to worshiping all of the gods and looking to serve all of the gods, because there were lots of priests and priestesses who worked in the temples, and they were used to following the traditions of the gods. But we had Pharaoh Amenhotep IV, who had now changed his name to Akhenaten, and as he had changed his name to Akhenaten, he decided to decree that he was going to change the religion of ancient Egypt to monotheism and have everybody worshiping the Aten. Now, as he did this, he decreed that all of the original texts as related to papyri with regarding instructions from the gods be destroyed, and he also demanded that the whole capital of ancient Egypt wind up being changed from Thebes to a new city that he wound up building called Amarna. Now, this new city of Amarna was the place that he established to be his new capital, and in that new capital, he wound up creating a temple for his new god that he was looking to serve. And in that city, also known as Akhenaten or Amarna, is called the horizon of the Aten, which really is the horizon of the sun. And in that city, he planned to have a place for his new one god that he planned to serve. And this new city,
They said, listen, you taking this shit too far, Uncle Nine. Listen, you and Queen Nefertiti, listen. Now, we know what we heard what been going on. You get what I'm saying? Nothing is new under the sun. Nothing is new under the sun, reflection. All this shit that you see right now, reflection, it done went on before. Allegedly. Just listen. Stay in the spaceship. Hit the like and subscribe button because you over here with T. We talking about the greatest masterminds that ever did it. We talking about mind control and shit. Reflection. Listen. They said, look, Now you want to close all the temples. The priests and shit, you said they ain't got no more power. You want all of the power. You said you better not see another statue if it ain't of the Aten. You said it better be a sun disk. It better hurry up and explain yourself. That's what he said. I think if I was the reflection, I think that's what he said. And Nefertiti said, listen, you better than me. Cause I already know what y'all up to. I already know about the little sleek meetings and shit y'all been having, talking about overruling my motherfucking husband and shit. You get what I'm saying? I think that's what she was saying. If I was there, that's what. Because she can communicate with the dead and shit. She was a master necromancy reflection. She was reading minds and shit. I'm telling you, she was a weapon within herself. Why do you think the king had her reflection? I mean, she was beautiful, but she had other gifts reflection. She was more than beauty. She was co-pharaoh. She was co-ruler. Reflection. Queen Nefertiti was nothing to be played with. She unlocked the key to ruling a society. She unlocked the key to mass manipulation. She unlocked the key to, I wish you would say it again, I will rewrite you clean up out of fucking history. Queen Nefertiti was nothing to be played with. Reflection. She wasn't no sex object. She wasn't nothing like that. You know how most people, they'll look at a queen and they'll be like, oh, she beautiful, she Queen Nefertiti. You want none of that. You better not even look at her too long. That's dangerous. That's danger.
And this new city was going to be the capital of Egypt, and it was going to be the place where everybody was going to see as the center of his Egypt. And that's where the big problem is with Pharaoh Akhenaten, that leads to him being a man in crisis, because what Pharaoh Akhenaten was actually doing was classic beta male behavior in looking to live in a rose-colored reality and not look to live in the world with other people. Now, as Pharaoh Akhenaten went on in his reign, he became extremely disconnected and detached from the people, and instead of him looking to serve the people, all he looked to do was serve his ideals and not see the real people or the real issues of the people around him. And this really strained relationships between Egypt and other countries and made it where a lot of allies really didn't get the support that they needed. I mean, I remember watching one documentary where they talked about how one king had contacted Akhenaten, and Akhenaten refused to hear his letters, and he was telling him about a grave issue of crisis, but he couldn't be bothered with it because he was caught up in living in his own world, detached from the real world and the real issues of his borders, and that just showed how he was really not concerned with the needs.
Uncle Nine said, I don't want to hear that shit. You go over there talking shit in your kingdom and shit. My wife, she channeled the shit last night in a dream. Nefertiti already told me what you said over there in the kingdom. Now you want to come over here because the shit didn't work, your little abracadabra. You know I had the master necromancer over here. Yeah, hit the like and subscribe button. I think that's what he probably told them when they came over there for a plea deal. He said, I don't do pleas. I don't do deals. I got the necromancer. What I need you for anyway. I'll come over there and take all that shit over. I'm trying to be king. I'm trying to be kingly to you. I told you I was the king of all kings around here. Didn't you hear what I said? We worshiping the Aten. If it ain't Aten, it ain't proper. I think that's what he probably was saying. If I was there, I think that's how it went.
With the needs of his people, because he was caught up in the worship of this one God, this Aten, and caught up in so much in it that he was just detached from the entire world, and he could not hear any of the people in his own outside of his country who were his allies, and he couldn't even hear the people in his own world. I mean, his own countrymen were getting more and more frustrated with him, and that's another typical part of what happens when you put beta males in leadership positions. What happens with beta males is that when they are put in a leadership position, what they do is they don't really listen to anyone. They don't take
He said, baby, Uncle Nine had the big head. He said, Uncle Nine said, listen, I got a big ego. Shit. He said he ain't worried about none of this shit. He been taking out motherfuckers to get into power. He know what allegedly, everything over here is alleged. If I was there, I think that's probably what he would have said to him, reflection. He said, you think he worried about you and your threats and you get what I'm saying, your little ass army? He'll come take all that shit over, reflection. He said, don't step over that line, cross the line if you want to. Say it again. What you say? What you say? You better leave a note, and it better be nice too, and you better have an offering with it. Okay, when you come over here talking shit, you better have an offering, an exotic bird, zebra, or something. I am Akhenaten. We worship in the end. If it ain't the end, it ain't proper. I think this. If I was there, that's what he probably would have said.
distance from Akhenaten, and even the royalty and the nobles looking to stay away from him. So his nation was in a really bad place as related to the entire political situation, and it was really in a place that was so bad that Akhenaten basically made it where people really didn't want anything to do with him or have anything to do with his legacy. Now, after Akhenaten's whole dynasty, rule, basically, it just went on for, I think, about 13, 14 years, and he did have six children. I mean, he had 6 daughters, and I think he had, after that, he had several other relationships. I don't know, but the whole thing is that he had 6 daughters, and eventually things got so bad between Egypt and the royal family that eventually the world was so rough that it just created a lot of political strife in the royal family and the people of Egypt, because with Akhenaten basically telling people that he wanted everybody to worship his God and not serve the gods, that caused a lot of strain in the relationship between Egypt and the people, and it further caused a lot of strain between Akhenaten and the royal class of the nobles and all of those others who were a part of maintaining the kingdom's order, and eventually
So the priest and shit was mad. Make a long story short, the priest was mad. They was yes. They had to hide all the temples and shit. Uncle Nine told them to destroy them all. They fucked around and buried some of them, hid them, took them home and shit. Took them switched them to other temples and shit. Reflection. No, they would have got their left foot cut off if Uncle Nine seen any temple that didn't have the end. Because if it wasn't the end, it wasn't proper. I think that's what he probably, if I was there, that's what he would have said.
After he wound up dying, he wound up becoming a pharaoh that people quickly wanted to forget all about. And efforts were made to basically erase Akhenaten from history in order to make the legacy of Egypt smooth, because he tried to make his smooth world with no conflicts, problems, or obstacles as related to worshiping his God. But when he did this, he wound up alienating the people to the point where they didn't want to remember him, and efforts were made once he died to basically erase him from history, where they basically wound up destroying everything as related to his legacy. And basically what happened to Egypt is that they moved the capital from the city that Akhenaten had established, and took, which was Amarna, or what was called Akhenaten, when the city was moved back to Thebes. And after it was moved back to Thebes, what happened was people made efforts to try to go out and make sure that the entire legacy was erased. Soon after Akhenaten died, they starting to look to erase him from the history. And then when his wife Nefertiti wound up passing away, eventually what they did was wind up erasing the entire whole legacy.
So reflection, they knew not to touch. They knew not to touch a picture of the Aten why Uncle Nine was why he was breathing. He said he don't give a damn if he breathing slow. If you can barely put your finger under his nose, I don't give a damn if you even feel just a piece of hot breath. You better not touch shit that look like an end. That's what I think he said, because he said if it ain't the end, it's not proper. I think that's what he said. So reflection. They was mad and shit. They was mad and shit. So they was waiting and shit till he would pass to destroy his whole legacy. Reflection. They brought back all of the new gods and shit. But before they brought back all the other, not the new gods, before they brought back all of the other gods, reflection, because that's how it was. Everybody got their praise, everybody got their worship. But when Uncle Nine came in, he had a different plan, he had a different vision. The vision was straight focused on the arts. So reflection, anything that wasn't the arts, it wasn't proper, and it was execution. Fuck around and go down to the bottom, and fuck around and be a test subject for Nefertiti. He said, listen, most of them said, just go and take me out. Don't send me down to the bottom with Nefertiti. I'm not trying to be a test subject of your mind control. Allegedly, because she said she needs some new test subject because she needs to do a little brain surgery to figure some shit out. Anyway, you get what I'm saying? So it was either way with Nefertiti. She didn't mind. She preferred you to disobey anyway. You get what I'm saying? Reflection. These the type of rules that you was dealing with, okay? The greatest ones to ever do it, though. The greatest ones to ever do it. Let me tell you how this went. Reflection. Hit the like and subscribe button. You over here with Sarethia. You with the crew, okay? And we over here talking about Queen Nefertiti, and we talk about Uncle Nine.
Wife, Queen Nefertiti. Now, Queen Nefertiti is known for the iconic bust of her wearing a blue flat top crown that's featured in the Egyptian Museum in Berlin. And this iconic bust is famous to us, but was infamous to the people of ancient Egypt, because it was back then that Queen Nefertiti was on the road to becoming a woman in crisis. Now, Queen Nefertiti's whole road to becoming queen is one that is shrouded in mystery, and the way she wound up leaving the throne is just as mysterious as well, because most people don't know anything about Queen Nefertiti's past before she married Amenhotep IV, and according to some reports, she is the daughter of I and a woman named Tay, and according to them, they propose that I and Tay are Nefertiti's parents, but there's not much known about her whole history of her family, and because there's not much known outside of her marrying King Amenhotep IV, and they don't even know the dates that they did get married. All they know is that Queen Nefertiti did have 6 daughters with Amenhotep IV, and as they were living as the queen and pharaoh of ancient Egypt, Amenhotep IV, also known as Akhenaten, decided that he wanted to use his time as the pharaoh to change the worship of the gods of ancient Egypt from polytheism to monotheism. Now, what put Nefertiti on the road to being a woman in crisis was later on in the rule of Akhenaten, because it was during the later rule of Akhenaten that Queen Nefertiti started to have the same mindset that many modern feminists have. Now, back in ancient Egypt, men and women were considered to be equals, and women oftentimes shared power with their husbands. And because women shared power with their husbands, oftentimes the women felt that they had equal say. But with Queen Nefertiti, she basically wanted to have the power just like her husband over.
And she did. Queen Nefertiti said, "What, you put some respect on my name, baby?" And I did. I did that. I said, listen, I was on the magic stick. Hit the like and subscribe button. We over here in the spaceship reflection, roll up poet. We over here talking about Queen Nefertiti, the greatest one to ever fucking do it. So she was on the magic stick and shit. She said, listen, I'm gonna give you 6 girls. 6 girls. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to give you any boys. I looked into my crystal ball. I don't think so, but fuck it, we'll find you somebody. Fuck around. The greatest one to ever touch down. Shout out to him. He came and he switched shit around. You know why they got him up out of here, allegedly, hypothetically, reflection, is because it was Uncle Knight's only son. You know how they do, reflection. Ain't nothing new under the sun. If they want to get rid of the whole bloodline, they go through the sons. They get the daddy, then they get the son. Because think about it like this: Tut had brought back. He was the one who even brought back the worship of the rest of the gods. You welcome. You welcome. And then they took his ass out, reflection. They took him out because they still was mad. They was mad and shit. They was mad and shit. Hit the like and subscribe button, your people team. They was mad and shit, reflection, because they couldn't get to Uncle Knight. They couldn't get to him, baby. They couldn't, okay. They couldn't fuck with him, reflection. I told you he was a mastermind. He had the key, and it was hard to get to him. Queen Nefertiti, she was raising the dead and shit over there. They had to wait till they got out the way to try to get to Tut, because they knew, reflection. They knew if it was even a pinch of necromancy around, a pinch of Nefertiti around, baby. And they knew, you get what I'm saying. Uncas Paatin, she could raise the dead and shit too, but she just wasn't skilled like her mama yet. She wasn't skilled like her mama yet, reflection. I'm talking about the third daughter. I'm talking about Tut wife. You get what I'm saying? She wasn't skilled like her mother yet, but she could raise a little bit of the dead. And just like her mother, she disappeared from history. I'm trying to tell you, reflection. Some up with them daughters, and some up them Aten daughters. I don't know. They be disappearing and shit. Okay. So anyway, make a long story short, reflection. That's the reason why, hypothetically, they fucked around and took Tut up out of them. Yes, because they couldn't get to his father. They couldn't get to his father because he had brought back the original worship of the rest of the gods. So I'm saying, what's the problem, baby? What's the problem? They scared. They said, "Nah, we know it's in your bloodline. We know it's a piece of mind control allegedly in your bloodline. I don't know. You still got that. You still got them underground caves and shit. We ain't sure about you to it." That's what I think. If I was there, that's probably what they probably was saying.
Their husbands. Oftentimes, the women felt that they had equal say, but with Queen Nefertiti, she basically wanted to have the power just like her husband over the people, and she wasn't looking to serve the people the way that Queen Hatshepsut did when she donned a false beard and looked to preserve the kingdom for her son. No, she wanted power for herself, and she was looking to be able to start taking that power away from the kingdoms, pharaohs, and have it for herself, starting out by looking to be a co-ruler with her husband, which is something that is a little out of order, because even with men and women being equal, many of the women in ancient Egypt looked to submit to the authority of the men. But Nefertiti sought to challenge the authority of the men and sought to become a co-ruler under Akhenaten, as they had moved the capital of Egypt from Thebes to his new city. And as they were in that new city, this is where Nefertiti decided to change her name to Nefertiti. And as she changed her name to Nefertiti, which is meant to say beautiful is the beauty of Aten, she wanted to be seen as on the same level as the pharaoh. And as she wanted to be seen on the same level as the pharaoh, she was looking to get the power that she coveted from him. And as she was looking to gain the power that she coveted from him, as Pharaoh Amenhotep, who now is known as Akhenaten, wound up in a state where his health was in a state of decline, this is where Nefertiti or Nefertiti, as she's called after those days, what she decided was she was going to use her husband's death as an opportunity to take power.
So what you think about that, reflection? What do you think about her stepping up into power and her becoming? I'm trying to tell you, Queen Nefertiti she is, out of all of the queens, reflection, she is the one that is depicted the most with her husband. He looked at her, he gave her the power of being an equal. Keep in mind, she wasn't even born into royalty, reflection. Queen Nefertiti just popped up on the scene and started handling shit, reflection. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you about a great mastermind. I'm trying to tell you about the one who started mind control, reflection. You got to think, they switched a whole religion, reflection. They switched a whole way of worship and got the people to go along with the shit, reflection. Don't you think that sound like a little piece? A little piece, not all the way mind control, but a little piece. She was perfecting it. She was perfecting it. And not only that, reflection, they had prisoners. You get what I'm saying? Nothing is new under the sun. The same way if you go against the kingdom, everybody came beat with the cause, reflection. So of course they had prisoners. They had people that were in cage. What do you think? Who do you think she was testing this shit on, reflection? Because she was testing necromancy. She was testing ways to alter the mind. Who do you think possibly she could have been testing it on? I'm just asking, reflection. I'm just wondering. Because if you missed the video yesterday, this is if you go and you look up MK Ultra, if you don't know what MK Ultra is, it's basically a mind control program. Reflection. Definitely go look at some of my videos on that, and definitely go just do your own research. But in those documents, it's a brief history of mind control. Okay. And it says that the mystery religions of ancient Egypt, Greece, India, and Babylon helped lay the foundation for occultism. If you help lay something, that sounds like a blueprint to me, don't it? Okay. Meaning hidden knowledge. What does occult mean? It means hidden, reflection. Okay, so one of the earliest writings giving reference to occultism is the Egyptian Book of the Dead. You hear about that book often, don't you, reflection? But they don't talk about everything that's in there. They don't, but it's going on. Okay. So it's a complex. I keep telling you, they didn't burn everything. I promise you they didn't burn everything. They said it's too much good shit to burn it. Reflection. You gotta be crazy to burn all that good shit. Okay. It says a complication of rituals, explicitity, describing methods of torture and intimidation. Okay, which is to basically create trauma. And the reason you would ask is, why do they want to create trauma? Because they're trying to split the conscious. They're trying to split the mind, reflection. So when I say there's nothing new under the sun, I really mean that, reflection. There's literally nothing new under the sun. I mean, all of this is the same stuff today. What does it say? It uses potions, what we call potions today. They're Uggs, okay? And the casting of spells. When you put somebody under hypnosis, what are you doing, reflection? You are doing certain things as a the same thing a person would do who is casting a typical spell. Okay. So just keep that in mind. All of that, when I say nothing is new under the sun, literally nothing is new under the sun, reflection. Okay. So with that being said, let's keep going.
She was going to use her husband's death as an opportunity to take power, and she was going to use her husband's death as an opportunity to take power, not as a way to provide succession for the next heir, but so that she could continue to have power over ancient Egypt. And as she was looking to do this, she was looking to try to rule the entire kingdom of Egypt as its queen, as Nefertiti, and was looking to be a pharaoh in and of herself. And as she was looking to have a reign as pharaoh in and of herself, this is where the feminist indoctrinated Nefertiti started to look to have the power of a man, look to take the role of a man, and was looking to have to rule like a man. And as she was looking to try to rule,
So with that being said, reflection, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, because you know how I do when I get over here with my crew. You never know when I may pull up in my spaceship. You know how I do, reflection. You know how I do when I do my roll up and my pull up. But you already know I got drive outs. So I gotta pull off, because over here on Earth, I never follow the rules. So I gotta get back over there tomorrow. Until